Today is the 23rd day of April. Boy, after you've been through a hurricane, and what people don't recognize that there's some mental capacity that you lost and some stuff that you're going through. There's a lot of people, all is not well with their souls, body, and mind after Hurricane Dorian. But this video is to head of state, the man that doesn't recognize that he's a servant to the people that need him the most. That's Abaco and Grand Bahama. But I'm speaking about Abaco, Grand Bahama on their own. And I'm going to ask the most honorable Prime Minister Hubert Minnis. I'm going to use his own words that he asked the merchants, Mr. Prime Minister, after Hurricane Dorian, where is your heart? Where did your heart go? Where is your compassion? You saw firsthand right after the hurricane, the devastation. Nobody had to tell you, you were there. You came there. And after we didn't see your compassion, that went out the window, Mr. Prime Minister. To date, where's your soul? Can you please, sir, with all due respect, you know I kind of like you in a distance, not up close. Can you find your soul? Can you find your heart, man? Can you find your compassion, Mr. Prime Minister, for the people of Central Abaco? Nassau, oh Nassau, now you're feeling what we feel. I want to thank God for people like the One Eleuthero Foundation. The Eleuthero Foundation has done more for Abaco. This is a small island. I don't know what happened to the Abaco Foundation. I don't know what happened. I was in a meeting here in Nassau after the hurricane. The Rotary Club of Nassau, when they brag about all the stuff, all the pallets of stuff they sent into West End, Grand Bahama. What happened to the Rotary Club of Abaco? And all of these other agencies in Abaco? Why haven't they come to our rescue? We got one of the wealthiest men, young man, don't got child, no chick, no cheat, Chad Sawyer down there. Ask Chad, while you're sucking up everything to put in your casket, Chad, who have you helped? It seems like Chad has put up the food in Maxwell. Yeah, man, Chad, we got duty free. Why this stuff so expensive, brother? Come on, man. And you got another rich one down there being sucking everything out of Abaco. Manny Alexio, Great Abaco Beach Hotel. Manny, who hopes you have helped to rebuild? Who you helped, brother Manny? We know you as a Greek and you're all tight, but who have you helped? These are wealthy Abaconians. Who have you helped? But the wealthy of them all that got the country's purse is the most honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis. Where's your heart, Mr. Prime Minister, for Abaco? Where's your soul? What happened to your compassion for people that have lost so much? I saw you and Darren came down and was working very hard to let Abaco. I respect that then. Darren flew down. The hurricane scared the Jesus of them. The hurricane scared Darren so much that Darren ain't fooling with Abaco. He ain't checking for that. 8 months in, we haven't had a meeting with Darren, not the Prime Minister. They went to Great Hill Key. The Prime Minister went to Guana Key and said, let the white people build that. He's a racist. He said, let the white people build Guana Key. God. He went to Hope Town. He drive back and forth, jump in the helicopter, didn't even say a word to the people that went through hurricane. Boy, they wanted to hear from their Prime Minister. Even they didn't look at him. Ride back and forth, jump on the helicopter, gone. Come in Mars Shaba. Say, let the Conky Joe build Mars Shaba. He ain't building Mars Shaba. We thought he was joking. 8 months in, the debris still on Pelican Shaw, still in Mars Shaba. All the Prime Minister was interested in getting that money in the mud, putting them heavy equipment in the mud there. Wonder what he getting out of that. Where's your compassion, Mr. Prime Minister? You and Darren worked so diligently to alert us to the danger and how devastating this hurricane was. We already knew that. Kai Mills been through 10 hurricanes. I knew what a Category 5 was going to look like because I knew what Floyd was. And if Floyd did what he did, I knew we were in trouble. You didn't have to tell me. You could tell the rest. I knew weather. I'm a boatman. I know what was coming. Question, Mr. Prime Minister Darren Henfield, all the hurricane shelters that you all told us about in Abaco got destroyed. In 2 months, Mr. Prime Minister, sir, we will be upon hurricane season. I heard the news people say this one's supposed to be more active than the last hurricane. Well, this hurricane season is going to be more active than the last one. We might as well start building a dungeon. Ain't no use for us to start to rebuild above ground. It is time that we build below ground because everything got to get blown away again. The question is, Mr. Prime Minister, my Member of Parliament, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Darren Henfield, when are you guys gonna build a hurricane shelter? Can you guys build a proper hurricane shelter in 2 months? What are y'all gonna say to the international community when after Hurricane Dorian, y'all didn't give us a piece of plywood to rebuild, and 2 months we'll be upon another hurricane season? What if, Mr. Prime Minister, the hurricane would have hit Abaco again? What would you say to the international community and the rest of the Bahamas when today y'all pocketed up $7 million of temporary shelters in Spring City? This one was a dagger. This one hit me to my soul when I see y'all sit down and sign a $17 million for drones to fly over Inagua. And in the last month, 3 Haitian sloops came in. A Cuban sloop came in. And the drone didn't tell y'all they were there. The American Coast Guard, like always, all the hardware we have, the $17 million waste the money. The Americans had to tell y'all that the Haitians is in the Bahamas, the Cubans is in the Bahamas, and where to pick them up. Thank God for the American Coast Guard. We might as well destroy the Defense Force. They absolutely weigh nothing. I see why Commander King is acting. Let him continue to act. When he finished acting, you all send him home. Don't confine him. Because so far, with the $17 million extra dollars for the drones, they can't even detect a sailboat making 4 to 5 knots, just basically sitting there with the mercy of the winds, and they can't pick them up. Mr. Prime Minister, you know what that $17 million that y'all waste on the drones to fly over Inagua would have done to Abaco and for Abaco? The question is again, where will we go if another hurricane approaches Abaco in 2 months? Can y'all build a proper hurricane shelter in 2 months? Is there any hurricane shelter on the drawing board for Abaco? I know the answer to that is no. Why haven't anybody sit at the table to draw up a plan to put one huge hurricane shelter in Abaco? Where would we go when a hurricane hit in 2 months? I told you, you all have to wake your brains. Just watch the videos. These are some hard questions. Now, what is the answer? You left us out there. All y'all could show in 8 months is that you refuse to bury our deads. Our dead is still in a trailer in the back of the clinic. You have destroyed all the Haitian communities. So every place that is available, they're trying to find some refuge. You've collected 100 people out of the church in Crocker Drive. 30 of them was illegal. You still let the illegal go. Should you take the illegals and test them to see if they got COVID-19 disease, you let them go right into the community with the illegals. That is not a caring government. That is not a government that is purpose-driven. That is not a government that put Bahamian first. That, Mr. Prime Minister, is not a prime minister that has a heart, compassion, nor a soul for the people of Abaco who went through the biggest hurricane in the history of the Caribbean and indeed the Bahamas. Where is thy compassion, heart, and soul? Darren Henfield, that's in the pocket of Dr. Hubert Minnis, Prime Minister. Where and when are y'all gonna build a hurricane shelters, and a hurricane will be upon us in 2 months? There's some hard question. Let's hear the soft answer.